Hey, welcome to the first episode of Ego on Break. I'm your host. Things falling from the sky, but don't worry about that. I'm your host, Jay Andrews, and you are?
Logan Creed.
Logan Creed. All right. Calm down there. What we're going to do is we're just going to be talking wrestling, right? So we're going to give you a rundown of some stuff that happens in Ego on every episode. And then also we're going to talk about other Southern independent wrestling, a little Northern independent maybe, and then just a teeny tiny bit of WWE. What do you think?
That's fine with me.
Awesome. So what do you think about the Great Southern 8? It just happened November the 19th, which was last Saturday.
Yeah.
So what'd you think?
I think I got it all right here, and I got to go put it up online.
So stay tuned.
Shay Crosby on YouTube. My pick one was John Davis.
John Davis did win.
He became Zangief 2 times in the show and hit this Siberian bear killer on 2 different opponents. That was really awesome.
It was pretty awesome. So we'll give you a rundown of what happened, and this will be spoiler, obviously, because we just told the winner.
Sorry about that.
So Orion Taylor represented Mississippi. He beat Logan Creed, not you, but the bigger version.
6'9", yeah, he's a little bit taller.
With his manager, Brooklyn Creed.
Yep.
Davey Vega beat Kyle Hawk, which some say was questionable. Just because he got a handful of the ropes or something?
I believe he was in the ropes. I do know that.
Yeah. But either way, the ref didn't see it.
Whatever, the ref didn't see it. It didn't happen.
That happened. Then Jake Parnell pinned El Sacchio Gato.
That was a good match.
A good match.
Probably the most technical match on the show. Honestly.
It's probably the one match that I didn't catch very much of. Between running around and the refereeing and my other duties there at Ego, I didn't catch a whole lot of that match, but I do look forward to watching it.
Gato tore his arm to pieces, basically.
Okay, that made a lot of sense. Then I guess the last match of the first round was John Davis. He defeated Blake Wilder. Which was a brutal match.
Yeah, that was the first Siberian bear killer.
Is it bear killer or bear crusher?
Killer crusher.
Either way,
did it matter?
Either way, a Siberian bear was not the same. That moved us to the next round, which Davey Vega beat Orion Taylor, and a low blow. Again, he took the low road, I guess you'd say, or there's a lot of guys say, win's a win. So
win's a win. Do what you got to do. That's my theory.
Right. And then John Davis beat Jake Parnell, which had a few noteworthy
I really don't remember the finish.
Do you? Yeah. He worked the arm.
I know he worked the arm, but
he tapped to the crossface.
That's right. Yep. That's right. Yeah.
But the action got a little extreme for a few of the crowd there.
Yeah, I don't think you want to talk about that too much online.
Let's just say Jake Parnell.
Well, here's an idea.
He took the action to the crowd.
If a wrestler ever tells you and you're in the crowd to move,
get out of the way.
Get the hell out of the way. We're kind of big and heavy.
Yeah, and then we had the 8-man tag.
The 8-man tag.
Which was wild. Let's just say that. A lot of dives, a lot of big spots. But we had Team Cruz come out on top of Team Abel. So that was pretty interesting. And afterwards, Joey Abel
kicked their face off.
Yeah, kicked their face off, hit them with the ladders, and then he put the ladder in the ring and challenged Dark Fury.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, let's fight right now on top of this ladder. So we had a impromptu brawl between Dark Fury and Joey Abel.
And they kept pulling them off.
Yep. And then the finals of the Great Southern 8 was John Davis defeated Davey Vega.
Yeah. Very hard fought match.
Oh, so good.
Vega worked his leg, which was very, very smart. The smartest.
Yeah,
besides Parnell getting his arm worked, I saw all night long.
If you've got a guy that's, his whole thing is I pick you up and put you down really hard, then why not try to take that away from him? So
you better. That's what I'd work on. Hit him with a car.
Car, truck, train, aeroplane.
It was a close match, a very close match. But at the end, you got to give it to Davis. He shook the man's hand.
Oh yeah,
he said you might be the biggest chicken that ever walked the planet, but you know what?
But you did bring the fight, yeah. So that was the 5th annual Great Southern 8, and if you haven't checked that out, check it out. past winners of the Great Southern 8. We had last year's winner, Christian Blake, who represented Louisiana. Then the year before that, we had the Nightmare known as Jeremiah, who represented Mississippi. Sugar Dunkerton, the year before that, which was the second year, he was representing Georgia. And the first year was Cal Matthews representing Georgia. So Georgia took a big leap, right out in the front with the first 2 years. But unfortunately, Georgia, for the last 3 years, hasn't really delivered. So that's kind of...
Well, Davis showed his picture, then Sugar D showed his picture, holding, and they said they wanted to fight each other. Yeah. So there you are.
And Christian Blake put his picture up and said, "Look here, John Davis, my trophy's bigger than yours." So
that'd be a cool three-way.
You never know what's going to happen down the road. So
there you go.
I will say, as I sit on the board of matchmakers or championship committee or however you want to look at it at Pro Wrestling Ego, and let's just say, hopefully in 2017 we get to see some of those guys back. So
I'd watch that three-way in a heartbeat.
Yeah. The original goal was for this year's Great Southern 8 was to have the final four, the four winners of the past, face off, and unfortunately Nightmare had gotten hurt, so that kind of put a kink into that. But you never know, we may have a 5-way fray or something next year.
That'd be cool.
That'd be very cool.
Expensive, but cool.
Yeah. Anything else going on in the indie world?
Not really that I've seen, but I've worked my tail off all week long. This is Black Friday, if nobody knows that right now, but I'm in the grocery business, so I've been busy. I just now watched Survivor Series, so that's really the only wrestling I've watched.
Well, I know PWX out of North Carolina, they had their X16 tournament. This is the second year for that, and the finals came down to Ethan Case and Anthony Henry.
That's cool.
That was really cool. Ethan Case was in the third year. He was runner-up. He fought the Nightmare, third GS8, so that was very cool for our standpoint of seeing.
He's the one who was bleeding like a stuck pig.
He was bleeding like a stuck pig. And just a little unknown trivia, last year's tournament, Anthony Henry was supposed to have been in the tournament in the Great Southern 8, but he had travel things happen.
Things happen.
So his travel arrangements didn't work out or whatever. He had to back out. So, just a little history there with both of them. But I think the most interesting thing that happened in that, or at least to me, was Ethan Case fought Sammy Callahan on night 2. Sammy was subbing for an injured Matt Riddle.
Okay.
And I think it's a well-known fact that, Sammy Callahan's kind of a role model for Ethan Case, a guy that he looks up to. So when Ethan's music came out, Sammy came out dressed as Ethan Case. And then Sammy's music played, Ethan Case came out dressed as Sammy Callahan. And then when Ethan's music played, out comes Sammy dressed as Ethan Case. So I thought that was kind of a unique factor of, showing respect for each other, or, mind games or whatever.
It was weird.
But it was definitely weird.
What the hell?
Yeah, I think the fans really enjoyed it, though, so that was
I forgot, I did watch one other thing. I watched the Lucha, the Battle Royal.
Aztec Warfare. What'd you think?
I'm going to give you my opinion on 2 matches, and this will kind of cover my whole TV thing. Goldberg versus Brock Lesnar, the biggest load of crap I ever saw in my life, and I think everybody that paid their money to walk inside the Coliseum to see a 1 minute and 25-second match got screwed.
It was unpredictable.
Because a 50-year-old man should not be beating a guy that just destroyed the WWE roster. All right, my second opinion of TV wrestling is you had Sexy Star go over Man of 1,000 Deaths.
Mil
Moretes, yeah. Okay, well, everybody was like, well, he does this, he does that. No, he fell through a table and she stomped him. That was it.
Yeah. A double stomp all the time.
Well, but I thought it was a load of crap again. So that's just my opinion.
Well, I'll throw a interesting fact out to you that I just learned today. Sexy Star is leaving the wrestling scene for a while and going into kickboxing. Okay. So that was interesting to know that, she won the title. And obviously, Lucha Underground's recorded.
Yeah, she loses it tonight, yesterday.
Okay. Who'd you lose to?
Johnny Mondo.
Mondo. So, but I thought that was like, hey, you know, I just won this big thing for women's wrestling. Now I'm going to leave
She
it.
held it a
You
week.
know, so,
She held it a whole week.
I thought that was different. But my opinion on the Goldberg-Lesnar thing, and I'm sure it's out there everywhere, and I do get the whole,
Surprise,
you know, it's surprise.
yeah.
You never
I
know what's
get
going to
it,
happen.
but I just
my
didn't agree
thought
with
was like, I could see him probably sitting in the back going, Goldberg probably walked up to Brock, was like, hey, Brock, how do we make them forget about that horrible WrestleMania match we had that year? And Brock's probably like, man, we could go out there for 20 minutes, just beat the crap out of each other. And then Goldberg goes, well, I've got this other idea.
We can both make a lot of money in a minute
and do
25
nothing,
seconds.
yeah.
But
But the one thing it did do is got everybody
I
talking.
know
So
everybody in the world's talking about it, but here's my...
have to give them that.
My biggest knock on it is pay-per-view tickets are expensive.
Yeah.
You know, not for us, they're $10 for the internet stuff. But anybody that paid, God only knows how much for them front row seats for a minute and 25 seconds, I'd have been pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they could have achieved the same thing and went just a little longer.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't have to go 20 minutes.
Goldberg
But
didn't even bump. He never fell, not once.
I mean, just my whole thought of that, of course, you know, hey, I guess, you know, of course it's wrestling, so, you know, everything's a work, but just the fact that Lesnar basically got tackled twice or tackled one time and couldn't recover. I mean, this was a guy that was fresh, and, like, he got tackled. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's a spear, and it's supposed to be devastating, but, I mean, it's no different than, you know, a guy running for a touchdown and getting tackled. You know what I mean? Like, so... I thought if they would have went 7 or 8 minutes and had some back and forth action and a little heat, but you know, what do I know? I don't know nothing. So that was that.
That's just my opinion, brother.
Yeah. I know we've got a big show coming up, December 3rd. We've got the return to not just Pro Wrestling Ego, but to wrestling in general. The return of Ted DiBiase Jr. That show takes place December 3rd in Pearl, Mississippi. So if you're in
the library,
if you're in the Mississippi area and want to check that out. We also got former NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion, a wrestler he's wrestled in New Japan, you know, all over the place, Steve Anthony. Okay. He's making his return. He hadn't been here since May of last year. We've got El Fuego debuting for Pro Wrestling Ego. If you haven't seen El Fuego, I mean, he's getting around, so he's starting to build a big name for himself. I mean, he's a smaller guy. He does some high-flying stuff, but I think you'll like him. John Davis, Odison, Joey Abel, Dark Fury, you know, all the Ego regulars, they're all going to be there. So I think that's going to be a huge, huge thing. It's a special start time of 5 o'clock, which is a little advertisement for us, but also, you know, something that hopefully you guys out in the internet land will enjoy. And I know Elevate Pro down in Louisiana has a big show that night as well.
Yeah.
And they're going to be crowning the first Elevate champion.
Really?
So, you know, if you're in Louisiana, check those guys out.
Is the match set, or are they doing a tournament?
The match is going to be like a scramble match. I think it's 5 or 6 guys in it.
Okay.
Forgive me if I don't remember all the guys that's in it, but I know Dark Fury, Pro Wrestling Ego's Pride champion, he'll be returning to Louisiana. He's going to do a double shot. So Mississippi, Louisiana. So that's going to be pretty cool. So, you know, he could just be the first Pride, not first Pride champion, but first Elevate Pro champion and current Pride champion. So he could be a double title contender there for 2 states. So very cool for us, you know. Yeah. What you got? Any topics to talk about?
I pretty much blew through mine with the Lucha Underground and the Survivor Series. That's really all I've seen.
I got you. What if we give our thoughts on a guy from the Independents?
That's fine.
Like we just throw a name out once a week.
Pick one.
If you're out there and you're watching, send us a message at prowrestlingego@yahoo.com and just put in the subject line Ego on break. And tell us who you'd like to see give our opinion on.
How about Monty Warbucks?
Monty Warbucks. I think Monty is a guy that's been around the South for a long time, and man, can he go. And he can go in more than one way. Like if you want to go out there and brawl, I think Monty's that guy that can go out and brawl. if you want to be that guy that goes out and just does showmanship, and try to make the crowd hate you, he can do that.
Yep.
And I think where Monty surprises people, if you want to see him go have like that Ring of Honor style where you're just beating the crap out of each other, Monty can do that. So
I've seen him do old school, new school, a little bit of high flying.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of a jack of all trades, but
Absolutely.
I know a lot of people say secret of the South, but I would honestly say Monty Warbucks is a secret of the South.
Yeah, it's not a bad little moniker, the secret of the South.
I just
marvelous.
I've always thought
Warbucks.
Because some people look at him and they think, well, he's a fat guy. What can he do? But then you see him,
the fat guy in pink.
That's true too. But I've never seen Monty as a fat guy. I've always seen Monty as an awesome wrestler.
Right, Monty's that throwback guy. Back to an age where you didn't have to look like a bodybuilder to steal the show. So I know in Ego, Monty's had some knockout drags. I mean, Christian Blake, Joey Abel, Scotty Matthews,
Mike Carter.
Mike Carter. Him and Mike Carter's had a big feud for the last couple of years, kind of off and on again. That's not just happened in Ego, but other promotions as well. I know.
They just fought SWA.
Yeah, just fought SWA down in Sandersville. So that was.
I think it was a DQ.
Okay. I didn't know the finish. I don't know how that came out.
I don't know what the DQ was, but I remember reading.
Well, if I know Monty,
it could have been.
He probably had something, in his tights. So that was pretty cool.
But yeah, I do know they just did that. But I've always been a Monty Warbucks fan, as far as verbally and just watching him wrestle.
Yeah. Let's end this with road stories.
Okay.
Got a story from the road?
Well, let me think. I tell you what, you knock yours out first. I'm gonna think on which one I'm gonna do.
Let's see. Just here last Memorial Day weekend, we hooked up with Outlaw JD McKay up in Louisville, Mississippi, to put on like a tribute show to Mississippi wrestlers, like to honor those that came before us.
Yep.
We recognized Kamala, Pork Chop Cash. You remember who else?
Kamala, Pork Chop Cash,
Brickhouse Brown,
Brickhouse, Mr. Hughes.
So we did that, and you jumped in for the ride.
Yeah.
And as we were bringing the ring. We had maybe a 2.5 hour ride. We got about 15 minutes away from the house, and the check engine light comes on my truck. So thankfully, we made it all the way to Louisville. Which I know that's not a whole lot of a story, but I think the interesting thing is that in wrestling, sometimes you go places and not really know where you're going, if that makes sense. So we get to Louisville, and JD's like, when you get here, just give me a call, and I'll guide you into the building. And we spent 20 minutes trying to call the Outlaw.
Longer, yeah.
So it's not really that great of a story, but it's a story,
So the guy with the big horn sticking out of his helmet.
Yeah, on the motorcycle.
I'll tell you what, this goes with it. It doesn't really do a road story, but it's just a story behind. At the time we're doing this, I was filming a documentary, the Pro Wrestling Ego documentary. It's on YouTube, by the way. Go check it out. I put it up on a couple little film things just to get somebody's opinion. And they said, well, they wouldn't watch part of it because the way I sound. And I kind of thought about it. I'm like, what's he talking about? So I asked him again, what are you talking about? And he goes, well, you sound real Southern. I said, what am I supposed to sound like? Well, anybody that does a documentary should sound British.
British?
I said, it's Southern wrestling. What the hell's a British guy got to do with wrestling? And he's like, well, you sound too Southern. I'm Southern talking about Southern wrestling.
Yeah. So, hey, for Guy, if you're out there, this is going to be a podcast about Southern wrestling with a Southern twist.
Yeah,
so.
I'm Southern.
Because I promise you can tell that I'm from Mississippi. So
that's why we got acorns falling on the car right now.
Well, it's been awesome. Hey, guys, I hope you are out there and you want to watch this again. Spread it around. It's Ego on Break. And, we'll see you next week.
I'll be here.